Hello folks, and welcome to this overview or intro video on Unit 6. We're talking about trigonometry, trigonometry, tri-3, gon side, measure. So we're talking about the basics of measuring three-sided figures. Actually, that's where it started, but we expand upon that idea. So a couple things that we need to be mindful about. When we talk about the cycle or the phases of the moon that completes one cycle every month, right? Or perhaps we're talking about the cycle of temperatures as it goes through a year. What it is we're talking about trigonometry. Trigonometry has its own history. It has its own definitions. And trigonometry has tons of applications in nature, physics, life, all over the place. You cannot operate your cell phone. You cannot listen to digital music without the concepts of trigonometry. So that's something to think about for sure. So a lot to this unit. You could study whatever interests you as you go through the unit. But let's talk right now about Unit 6 content. Okay, I'm going to step back a second here. The rest of the course is really about trigonometry. So in Unit 6, we're going to get, the basics. Then we're going to talk more about the graphs and inverse trig functions in Unit 7. Then 8, analytical trigonometry. This is where people get a little sidetracked here. And then applications of trigonometry, and this is where we all get excited. So, having said that, you say, I want to be good at trigonometry, and I got an answer for you. As a matter of fact, I had a little bit of a discussion of this in Week 5 report to the class. So I'm going to post a link in this video so you can see it, how to get good at trig, and you can watch that video portion if you want to. Okay, so now we're looking at Unit 6, Introduction. We have our organizer. Then remember, you have two major lessons. And that is it with Unit 6. So let's break that down just a little bit further. I'm in the content here and I'm looking. I see the advanced organizer. I see the information for Lesson 1. I see the information for Lesson 2. And then, of course, we have the discussion and a checklist at the bottom. Again, in the advanced organizer, really just a very good, well-worded situation about what it's about and what we're going to do. A lot about angles, a lot about the unit circle, and a little bit more about acute angles and applying the Pythagorean theorem. All right, let's break down that Unit 1. Here, you got this little introduction. You're going to talk about angles, measuring angles. A good little video from Khan Academy, and some more examples. Now, folks, the little type font and the math notation, it is a little squirrely, let me just say. So I appreciate your patience on that. A little bit more about the circle approach to trig. A little bit more here about trig functions of any angle. These are very, very important ideas. And another key part of this course is the use of the calculator. You will like that, but you need to understand it. The more you understand it, the more you like it, the more you enjoy the course. Told you I'm a simple man. And then here at the end, you have your textbook. Let me make a comment about the textbook. If you would go and start with, chapter 5 in the textbook with the trigonometry, and you just study chapter 5, you would get a lot out of that, and the exercises in Chapter 5 are more than the exercises that you're going to see here. But this is the basic framework right here. These are sections from the book, so be mindful of that. Also, please keep in mind, I posted a solution manual, and this could be very valuable. Please use that resource in the course resources. Now watch, I'm going to click on exercises here, and you may remember you had to download this information before, but now, hold on, let me just kind of move this over. Okay, so here are the exercises, and this document opens up without you having to download it. So that's a good thing, and that was that point or that news item on the homepage in case you were interested. Okay, folks, let's look briefly at Lesson 2. You got a good introduction. more about the other trig functions, I would just go through these in order. Identities. Now, our identities are very, very important. I will try to give you some advice as we go through the identities. I would put all your identities on one piece of paper, okay? Don't worry about right now, am I going to be able to have this out for the test or the final or so forth? I'll answer that question later. Just learn these identities by copying them down and using them. Okay, so fundamental identities. By the way, don't forget to keep that piece of paper handy, because if you lose it, you'll have for sure an identity crisis. Don't forget we have more about the calculator, and you have your readings. And of course, you got your quiz at the end. My advice, when you're working these exercises, do the problems. If you're working 40 hours a week and you have 5 children, okay, maybe you can't do all of the problems, but do half of the problems. Skip every now and then, or come back to it. Because the problems help you to really know if you're getting the concept. The quiz helps you to know if you've acquired the skill. And the test, if properly used, should just verify all the previous knowledge. So you've heard me preach about this before, so you know what you got to do. So just do it. Follow your good conscience, and you will be okay. Plus, doing these exercises helps your future handouts that you're going to put in the Dropbox, your work, to be a good experience and less stressful. And I like that. All right, so that's a little bit about the Unit 2 and the task. Let's talk a moment about the Unit 6 discussion post. So again, this video that I'm showing you now, I'm going to put right here. I've already put a couple other things here to help you. Make sure that you follow the directions. Right now I've got 3 possibilities for you to make your post on. Remember, they're 5 points a piece. So do the discussion after you complete the 2 quizzes. What else do I want to say? I have reordered some of these posts so it's easier for you to navigate and get to them, and that's a good thing. Oh, one last thing. Please watch these videos. These 2 videos will be very crucial, and this one as well. But I'll try to get that out very, very soon. I wish you well in studying. It's really a great opportunity. You could learn a lot and have a lot of fun with trig. If you need help, get it early. Get it right away. Let me tell you a little funny story, but it's a true story. My brothers and I were digging a hole in the backyard of my home when I was growing up, and we were using pitchforks to do it. Well, we had this idea. We found this plastic plate. We were going to play keep away with our pitchforks. So, make a long story short, my oldest brother stabbed me in the leg with a pitchfork. He really did. And I was too fine till he pulled the pitchfork out of my leg. And anyway, short story, I ran inside screaming and everything like that. And my older brother says, I think I need to call the doctor and make a doctor appointment. Well, the older brother was using a sponge, by the way, to, help me with my bleeding, which was not good. I would have been dead. I would have lost my life if we made an appointment for the doctor. I'm glad they didn't. They called the fire folks, and they came, and I got that solved, and I'm living today. Now, let me ask you a question. Wouldn't that have been silly for someone to put something off because they were having a serious problem? Folks, if you need help and you realize the ball is in your court about solid learning, you're going to reach out to help. So whether it's hiring a tutor, or whether it's going to a friend's house, or whether it's using smart thinking, or whether it's the embedded tutor, or whether you're coming to me for help, please use those lifelines and use them effectively. And I want to encourage you to do that. So, true story, and I'm still living, and so I want you to live past the hard parts of this course. Wish you well. Contact me if you need to. Thank you.